Hey everybody, I'm KK.
I'm Kristen.
Welcome back to the channel. Together we are K and K Crochet. Hot mess express and all, but it's all good, right? I don't expect you all to think that I'm going to be a beauty queen because it's not going to happen. So, y'all get me like I am. So today we're going to talk about what we ain't doing. It's not happening. We're not going to do it. Everybody's going to be doing their resolutions, and then we're going to get this and this and this, and we're going to do this and this and this, and we're not going to do this, and we're going to tell you what we're not going to do, okay? We're going to tell you what we learned from 2023 and what's not happening. It's not going to happen in 2024, and why it's not going to happen. And then we may talk about some things that are going to happen instead of that, okay? So the first thing well, I'll let you go first. What's not happening in 2024?
No year-long projects.
No year-long projects, and I second that opinion. We had two. One was the mood blanket project, which was Kristen's, and the other was Santa's workshop. And I dropped the ball on Santa's workshop and haven't said much about it lately, but it didn't get a lot of traction in the beginning to begin with because not everybody thinks about Christmas all year long like I do. But I will tell you that Santa's workshop helped me tremendously. The good part of it is that I did get a lot accomplished. I made 3 blankets for presents. I made endless amounts of kitchen towels for presents. I made scarves and shawls for presents. So all of those things were fantabulous in the fact that I actually had a lot accomplished. Did I meet my goal? Yes and no. The goal was to have everything done by November 1st as far as crocheted Christmas presents. I finished the 3 main blankets. Actually 4. I did 4 because my husband threw one in there at the last minute. Well, not the last minute, into like July. And said, hey, can you make this for this person? So, yeah. Or maybe I threw it in there. But anyway, 4. We had 4 main blankets that were made. One for his coworker, one for my mother, one for his mother, and one for my best friend. So those were 4 blankets. And they weren't, like my mom's they were all at least throw size, some larger than that. The Doctor Who blanket was much larger than that. It was half the size of the
one for his coworker
was pretty big.
It was big too. It was like what, queen?
Maybe full.
Like it was big. Like
I feel like I was sneezing. Anyway, the one for Doctor Who was half the size of.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Of course, sorry. The one for Doctor Who was half the size of the original scarf, basically, because I did about half of the height of the bands of colors. So, 4 blankets in a year for me is astronomical. I did it 1 year before. I did 4 blankets for Christmas. They were for my family members, and I started the 5th one for me and didn't finish. And the funny part is this year, I did 4 blankets for other people. And I started a blanket for myself again. And it's not finished. But that's okay. I didn't have a timeline on mine. Mine is for fun. And I put it to the side for a while I was working on some fun amigurumi projects. And I will pick it back up. I also put aside the one that I was doing that was the heirloom baby blanket that was camouflage. And yesterday we did go through and sort through all of my yarn again. And my yarn, not her yarn. She has her own stash, and I'm not messing with it. So, that's her own baby. So, we sorted out by color. We went through everything and sorted through stuff. I actually have a variegated tote now, which I never had before. Well, I did a long time ago, and I had used it down, but now I have variegated yarn again. So, not doing a year-long project like that. It did help me in the long run to get that done. But as soon as I had those done, then the other people, there were a few people I knew I was going to make smaller projects for, but didn't know what they were. And so what ended up happening is I made lots of smaller projects. And so they got lots of presents and lots of resources and time went into those. So planning ahead often is how I get in trouble with other Christmas presents too, because, oh, they would love that, they would love that, they would love that. and then I get a bunch of little things, or I get a bunch of things and then see something later I would have rather had. So it's a catch-22. You know, it is what it is. So the ones that I ended up in the long run at the end for smaller presents, either I never did decide what to get them. One of them I had a present in mind. It was representative of a vehicle that they owned, and then they decided to sell the vehicle. So I couldn't follow through with that. I was actually going to order that from someone else, but that didn't work out. So it seemed at the last minute the best idea was to pick a present and focus on it for the smaller present. The ones that some people that I wanted to give something to that you wouldn't necessarily give a larger present to because money, right? But you wanted them to know you care and you love them and you just wanted to give them a little something, right? Something you made. So this year, that ended up being the crocheted towel toppers, the towels with the toppers on them. So I ended up giving a bunch of those away. I ended up making a bunch of those, and they were actually very well received. So that was a very good gift idea, and it actually in the long run is much easier. So maybe I need to think about either an ornament or something along that line that I could make that would be very well received mass, across the board by most people, and then just add a little bit of candy or something to it as just a thinking of you Christmas present, right? Something small. So I did end up doing 2 scarves. One I did earlier in the year, so I knew it was done. A keychain, a cowl, I'm working on this shawl, a whole bunch of hand towels, and 4 blankets. So those were all of the things, I think that's it, right? That I crocheted to give away for Christmas.
Face scrubbies?
Oh, and face scrubbies. I did do that.
Didn't you do dish towels? Or washcloths or something?
I did washcloths, yeah. I think I said that. Maybe I didn't.
And
So those were the things I did. And I found out that I can make a dish or a washcloth and not be so overwhelmed. Like, I don't know what I was doing before. I was trying to do a pattern, and I think I was just doing single crochet, and I wasn't really happy with it. It took forever, and it took a lot of yarn. So I used the moss stitch instead, and I really like how it works up. It gives a good texture. It's very flexible. It's very pretty, and it works really well. So that's what I did. And so we'll see how those are received. I haven't given those yet. So long story short, I am going to continue next year to make bigger projects for Christmas. I'm not going to put it on YouTube as here's my Santa's workshop and how many presents I'm going to do, and that gives me 5 weeks per each one. That stressed me out to no end, and it was not worth it. If I say I have this many presents to make and this many people to make for, and I work on it from January to July, that's the biggest goal right there, right? So I'm not going to go through and do all that this year. What happened was I worked up until July or June. Summertime came, and I wanted to spend time with the kids. And then fall came, and we were busy getting back into school and doing senior stuff. And now Christmas is here, and I'm still working on Christmas presents. So I did figure out, too, a lot of times it's better just to make things to be making them. And then when Christmas gets here, you'll figure out who they belong to. Shawls and scarves and hats and scrubbies and dishcloths and whatever, I found it much easier to have that stash to be able to go to, because that's what I literally did at the last minute for those who I hadn't created for, was I pulled from things I'd done and gave them things that I knew that would pertain to them and that I had thought in the long run might be for them, but I wasn't sure. So another reason why we're not doing year-long projects, we have things set up on our Facebook group where if you post your pictures of those things, and one of them is coming up very soon for the mood project and the secret Santa, goodness gracious, the Santa's workshop, that we're going to be doing a giveaway. And so here at the end of the year, when things are hectic and chaotic and everything, I'm supposed to be doing a giveaway in a couple of days. So I will draw for that, but I will say that it will not be sent until January. That's beyond my control. I can't help that. is the way things are right now, and I'm not going into detail. So it will go out sometime in January. Then there is one in January for the mood project, and I will draw for that one, and hopefully it'll go out in January, maybe February. So we shall see. It'll be what it'll be. I'll do what I can. So it's hectic at this end of the year trying to get that stuff done. So I won't be doing those kinds of things again. Another reason I won't be doing it is because it's a lot of work. We put a whole lot of work into both of those projects and a whole lot of time. And right now, there aren't a whole lot of entries on either one. And so, yes, you have to go over to Facebook to do it. It's not affiliated with YouTube or Facebook, but you have to go over to Facebook so I can see your project, right? I have to be able to see in order to be able to pick someone to give something to. So those are the 2 or 3 reasons that we won't be doing that. It's stressful. There wasn't a whole lot of interaction with it. And it, it's just not just one of those things that I'm not going to continue to work on. I will still be doing those projects, but I won't be doing it as, it's a series, and year-long series is a no-go. One of the other things I won't be doing is telling you that I'm not going to buy yarn. Do you all even know me? Yeah. I think I still have more yarn now than I did at the beginning of the year. It seems like I shouldn't, because I've used a lot of it up. But I've also bought yarn to make blankets and stuff, so you still have extra. I think I've used a lot for hats and that sort of thing, but I still managed to, and I don't know if it's I managed to gain yarn or I managed to gain craft supplies, because yes, there's lots of yarn. There's also lots of other things in there that are not, they're yarn adjacent, right? So, but I'm not going to tell you that I'm going on a yarn ban, because I'm not. Right now, am I buying yarn? No. Will I buy yarn in the future? Yes. If I see yarn that's on sale or it's something that I need for a project, I'll buy yarn. I'm not going to tell myself that I'm not going to do that, as much as I know that, because I know it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to buy yarn. Now, am I going to be using up yarn more than buying? I hope to. That's my hope, because I would like to see the yarn that I have get used. But then if I find a deal and I have, 10% more yarn than I did before because there's a deal, tough. Because I will use it. It will get used for hats. It will get used for loveys. It will get used for amigurumi. It will get used for donations. It's all good. One of the other goals I have is to make stuff. It's a simple goal. To make stuff. I used to say that I didn't want to make stuff that I wasn't going to use. But then I get to the point where I need donations for stuff and I don't have anything. So I will be making stuff. I don't know exactly what I'm going to make for the year, but I will be making stuff in the thought that it's being put away to donate. It doesn't have to be something I want to use or something that I particularly care for. It can be for donation. What about you? You got another one?
Oh, what we're not going to do?
Yep.
I'm not going to make monthly goals and try and get this many things done in a month, because as much as it did help me for the first, 6 months of getting however many hats I wanted to do, or what else was my goals? Trying to knit every month, it just didn't work out in the long run. So
it stresses her out. It does stress me out. Yeah. So, and I think that's a good thing, not to be willing. It sounds like we're not setting goals, which, I think we're setting personal goals instead of saying, things we would like to do, but not that don't have to be done. Because when we sit there and go, this has to be done, no. Now, I do have one goal that I hope to achieve, and that is to do Christmas Extravaganza number 2. That was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed it. So what we'd like for you to do in the comments is tell us some things that you enjoyed about the channel this year that you'd like to see again, right? We want to know what you want to see us do. We don't want to sit here and do things that nobody's interested in, especially if we're doing it because we think people will be interested, and then they don't want to do it. That's fine. But just let us know, what did you find interesting about this year that we did? What do you want to see more of? And there are some things that we're going to be doing less. The weekly update kind of things about, well, we have the mood project and we have the Santa's workshop. It was hard for us to keep up with it every week and every month. It's just not something we do. We both are very spontaneous. We like to make what we want to make when we want to make it. And we both have the mindset that if we don't want to make something, we are not going to be happy making ourselves do it. Crochet is not about doing stuff that you don't want to do. It's supposed to be fun and relaxing and less stress. So no more making ourselves do things we don't want to do. I found myself in that pickle quite a few times this year. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not making things that don't make me happy. And in that vein, I will say that neither of us finished the mood project. And I'm not finishing mine.
I'm still on the fence about mine.
And I don't care. I will say I finished it in that I stopped where I was, which I think was October. And I did, I haven't finished. I need to weave in the ends and cut off things. But I put a black border around it. And I'll just show you a little part of it because some of it has things I don't want to show yet.
Oh, yeah.
And I used it as a stitch marker hanger. I can't show you all of it because it has some things on it that you don't know about yet. So, but yeah, I used it as a stitch marker hanger, and I really, really like it like that. I'm going to hang it on the wall, and that way I can display them all. And I really do like it. I like it a lot, but I need to trim it and do some things. So, yeah, I'm not doing it. And hopefully this will be a year of freedom and a year of joy, and that we will find peace more in crocheting the things we want to crochet. That kind of happened to us towards the end of this year. We made some things that were projects we'd wanted to make all year long that everybody else was making, like the leggy frogs and the axolotls and the frisbees and the snowman. And just, I had said all year I was going to do amigurumi, and I never got around to it. So that was my freeing time. I could make whatever I wanted. I didn't have deadlines for anything. I just did whatever I wanted to do. So those are things we're not doing. No year-long projects. No
Trying to make myself accountable to do something every month.
No deadlines for things that need to be done. Not going to happen. Not happening. We're going to crochet what we want to crochet. We're going to show you what we've been crocheting. There's not going to be a timeline for it. We're just going to crochet and show you what we did. There's no timelines, no deadlines, no weekly I got to get things out because of this, that, and the other. It's not happening. It's just not happening. I am not going to be put in a time constraint. Crochet is supposed to be fun. YouTube is supposed to be fun. And we're going to go back to being fun. We're going to go back to having a good time. Now, the one exception is that I will have Christmas Extravaganza, Lord willing. And, of course, that will be due in July. But I've already started on it. So it's not that big a deal. And I already have a list of things I want to make. So if I start in January through to July and I have to have 30 projects, it's not that big a deal. It really isn't. 31, whatever. There are things that, and I found out by doing the amigurumi that there are projects that I dreaded doing that literally took me less than 2 hours. It's not that big a deal. I can get it done. And so Christmas in July will just be something that I do, or Christmas Extravaganza will be something that will be going on in the background, but that will be my only deadline for the year, and that's only because I enjoyed it so much and we had so much fun. So anyway, this is a long video. We hope you stuck around to hear this and to know what we're not going to do and why we're not going to do it. There will be some other things that come about, but it is going to be a stress-free year. As far as crochet, we are not meeting deadlines. We are not doing series that are a year long. There were some projects that I did with some people that I will do again if asked. And that's because they were smaller. There was a deadline, but there, like the one I'm thinking about, I did with Ella, I did Nostalgic Christmas. I will definitely be doing Nostalgic Christmas again if she chooses to do it. It was a short-term project. it was very open and very relaxing. You could do what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it, and it was very easy for me to participate in, and a lot of fun. So, and it was a lot of fun. So, those are types of projects that I will pick up on, but those that are month after month after month after month, or year after year, like we've been doing, like well, they weren't even month after month, they were week by week. The mood project and the Santa's workshop, not happening. Not going to do that. It's too much stress for our personalities. I mean, other people that do it, I enjoy watching them do it. But I know us, we don't follow through. I mean, like I said, we went till July and then kind of bogged down on mood project. And then I tried to stretch mine out and keep going. And I got to like October and was like, nah. So like a 6-month project like that would be okay, I guess. But I'm not doing that either. And I know Kristen's probably not either. She's rolling her eyes.
No,
but the funny part is, and I haven't told her that, I got our YouTube analytics for the year, and I think her mood project, one of like maybe the very first mood project video we did, was the most watched video of the year, and it had like 2,000 views. Yeah, over 2,000. So I don't know what happened to that one. I wish some more of those would do that, but hint YouTube, take a hint. But yeah, it's funny because it was like the most watched video, and I don't know why. I have no clue. I don't know what we did different. Either. I looked at the analytics. I looked at everything. The only thing I can figure is YouTube picked it up for some reason because of some kind of keyword, and it went ballistic. And I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll take it. And then I tried to reproduce that later in other videos, and it just didn't. So anyway, if you have a mood project or a Santa's workshop, which is a gift that you made for Christmas, head over to Facebook, find those pinned at the top, those specific posts, and post on there a picture if you want to be entered. Again, the one is being drawn December 18th. Well, it's a cutoff. I'll draw it when I get a chance. It's our anniversary. And then the other one is being drawn January 6th, and hopefully they will both go out in January. If not, it'll be January and February. We'll see how things go, right? It's that time of year. It's crazy. And I also want to skip that crazy postal rush we have right now. So, I have to figure out what I'm giving away. We haven't done that yet either. So, don't forget to be kind, because
nobody else's journey.
And in the comments below, let us know what you're not going to do. Another thing I'm going to try not to do is shy away from patterns or stitches, because I have no faith in myself to be able to do them, because I found out if I try hard enough, they're really not that difficult. I'm just psyching myself out to believe I can't do it when I can. Bye. Merry Christmas, too.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.